We did a show about simps and red pill a while back, maybe months ago.
Yeah.
And I actually feel differently about that video because I think I was flip about red pills. Because I was.
I have to look at it again.
You know why I was flip? Because I kind of jokingly made fun. You know, like there were some things that I kind of jokingly made fun because I didn't understand. It was my own ignorance.
Okay.
But as I've over time, which I don't know if any guys are watching, you can tell me if I'm correct. But I was wrong. I mean, I think now that I've actually looked into red pill and really a little bit more, it seems to just be men who are connecting back to their masculinity. We did a show on red pill that when I did the video, I didn't know a lot about red pill. All I knew, or the way it came, was there were a lot of angry type men that were,
which is true,
that were commenting, because I do think there are some men who are very angry in that community. But as I've gotten to look into it more, it's mostly just men getting back to their masculinity in a really heavy way. You know what I mean? And when you look at it, as I watched it and looked at it, it seems like it's more constructive than feminism, because feminism is getting away from your femininity. Red pill seems to be getting close to your masculinity. And so, yeah, I apologize for that, because I do think I was a bit flip, and also my own ignorance, I didn't really understand it.
The MGTOW people, you can't really get through to. I mean, you can't. They don't want. They're not. It's they're deep in a lot of anger. Most of them, I'm sure not all of them, most of them are. So it was kind of hard to talk to them. But I did talk to a guy named Jeremiah, and he's red pill, and he was explaining a lot of stuff to me. And it was, neither one of us were defensive. It was just like he was talking normal, and I was kind of understanding when he was speaking. I was trying to understand him as a man and what his feelings are in this world today, and his beliefs, and all of that.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like there are things about the red pill philosophy that I didn't get on board with, but a lot of it I did, because it's really just like you said about them reclaiming and taking back their masculinity, because a lot of the world, I mean, let's just really be honest here. When you look around, masculinity is being stripped, right before our very eyes, and for men, and I think that they're trying to find a community where that they're all like-minded, and also, I think that's okay.
Yeah, and also I see that because I watched a it's like a men's conference I watched on YouTube about this whole like red pill, different men, and it is more like I'm watching older men trying to help younger men, because like the woman said in this comment that she made about us, is that the reason why a lot of women, younger women, are having such a hard time is because a lot of men have been stripped of their masculinity, and they don't really know how to be a man. And so it looks like a lot of men are trying to help men become men again,
which I love.
Through that. And God, do we need that?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm always on board with that.
Even with men going their own way, I do think there are some men that need to go their own way. Because
I went my own way.
I went my own way, so I can't be a hypocrite. But I'm saying I do think I think that a lot of men do need to take a look at a lot of these men's conferences, and I do think so, because with feminism the way that it is, I think that masculinity is being taught not just to women, but taught to younger men. What masculinity is, given by women. So it's like masculinity is coming off as chauvinistic and hard, mean, oppressive, and we need to get rid of it. And so feminists, that's how they talk about it. Since the country's being run mostly on that platform. Women and men are the same. Men that are ultra masculine should be kicked off the island. You
are right. It's kind of like it's like a misogynistic feel out there. It's not. I think a lot of it is not misogynistic.
And I think that we need to, as women, because as a woman talking to women, I think that women need to understand what masculinity is. And that what masculinity is not oppressive. It's actually helpful to us. Masculinity is not oppressive. It's not chauvinistic. Masculinity is probably the, because, I was thinking that, like women, we get credit for the love. Right. The love card, you know what I mean? Because, you see Mother's Day comes around and then we love women. Like I said, Father's Day comes around, we can treat it like Flag Day. Right. Valentine's Day comes around and it's mostly about women. Mm-hmm. Again, women are the heroes, women are the victims, women are the, just everything good in this world. And men are just the problem. Masculine men are oppressive and mean and tough and chauvinistic and rude, and
they just don't understand us and all that. It's like, come on.
And actually, I think if you really look at masculinity for what it really is, which is dependable, because women look at men that have hurt them,
and they base it off of that.
These players, these playboys, that's their rappers, that image of what masculinity now is.
So they're holding to that standard. That standard, that's the standard.
But real masculinity is dependable. Yeah. It's reliable.
Strength is protection.
It's strength. It's protection. Masculinity will take a bullet for you. Mm-hmm. Masculinity will. There are men, real masculine men, can have a fight with their wife and still provide. Mm-hmm. Go to work, come home, and still give you money. Right. Still give you shelter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Masculinity, just like women, we get mad at you, we won't even have sex with you. Yeah. Men will probably still have sex with you, still be around you. Right. Still want to protect you. They'll give their life for what they love. Mm-hmm. That's what real masculinity does.
You have to be kind of worthy of receiving that a man that's willing to show that type of masculinity. That's their love.
Mm-hmm. That masculinity has to be, it needs to be retrained, because we're making it into something ugly when it's actually something that's really, really beautiful.
Yeah. It's being hoisted up there as if it's some type of evildoers. Like men are just the evil ones, and it's like we have to, that perception of men is just it's completely inaccurate and wrong. And a lot of the men that we know are not that. They're strong, they're smart, they're logical, they're hard workers. You know what I mean? Like that's how we see masculinity.
See, women get the love card because we're nurturers.
We're nurturers.
And we automatically assume that means love. You know what I mean? We love love. We love to hear love. We love, everything about nurturing and children and all of that. But masculine love is so humble that sometimes we take it for granted. Yeah. Yeah. We don't even celebrate men like that.
Well, the simplicity of men is that's what I always look at when I think about this, is that the fact that men are so simple is what's the word? It's comforting. Yeah. How the simplicity of, so if I'm dating a man or whatever, or seeing a guy, what I love about it, instead of talking about what we hate about men, which was women like to do, we much rather talk about what we love about men. The fact that we see a man who's whole, not toxic man, and doing well with his life, the fact that they're just so damn simple makes you feel like that is the humbleness of all that. It just makes you want to just be a better woman. Just that alone. And so I feel like we just need to be hoisting that up more.
Like, I just feel like we've made masculinity feminist and feminism, because it's so big right now, that we've made it into something bad so we can hoist up that. Yeah. So, we have that agenda.
And the reason why, that's why we talk about feminism so much, and sending women off, or, leading women off a cliff. We talk about that a lot. The more you get the message out there, especially women maybe our age, maybe younger women. I don't want young women looking at men as being like mean and evil when they're really just being men. You know what I mean? They're just being men. And I feel like that is being attacked. The fact that they're just being men, and they're, because the way that men think is so logical, it's so 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? It's just, there's the bells and whistles are very limited with men. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is. You know? And I feel like a lot of time women think that is just too simple, and we're trying to, what we've learned about men is that is the essence of a man. Is the simplicity of him is what makes him strong, dependable, and all these things.
And that's what I'm saying is,
you need that.
Men are real men, like that masculine man is so humble that that he doesn't need a pat on the back like all the time. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't ask for it.
Yeah.
We're just supposed to give it to him, but he doesn't ask for it. See, we always want credit for women. Women, we always want credit for everything.
I know.
We do. We want credit and we get it. You know what I mean? Because we're always asking for it. We always want to be held in high regard and everything, and we get it. You know what I mean? But with men, it's like we assume that they're just supposed to take the hits, and then they don't get thank you. They don't get anything. A lot of times. They just get persecuted. Yeah. And a lot of what women are dating are a lot of men who aren't masculine. We're submitting to the wrong type of men.
And then we're blaming them once we get hurt and whatever the situation happens that goes sour, because it will. Then you got involved with this toxic person knowing they're toxic, and then you stay knowing they're toxic, and then you blame later him. But you don't blame yourself for sticking around with that. So it's like...
And sometimes the best masculine men are men you wouldn't even... that get overlooked all the time.
Right.
They do.
It's true.
Because, you know, they're not all good looking all the time. You know, like The Rock. You know, they don't have, you know, six-pack abs all the time. You know, because they're on a level that's, well, with purpose. They're looking for their future. They're doing other stuff. They're not on Instagram just liking pictures of girls all day and on hookup sites. You know what I mean? They are doing something with their life. So a lot of times we don't see them because what we think men are, they get those types of men. The man that isn't as masculine gets the most headlines.
Yeah. Right.
They get the most airtime. Like, and so we think we're looking at the right masculinity, but really it's usually guys that we just ignore all day long.
It's true.
Those are the real masculine men that, you know, they don't make six figures. They don't always make six figures, and they don't always have, like I said, have six-pack abs, and they're not always pretty. Yeah. Pretty boys. You know what I mean?
My feeling is like, you know, because like we said, we have a lot of men subscribers. They leave a lot of comments and emails and stuff, and we appreciate them. But the overall sense that I get from men is that they don't feel heard. A lot of them don't feel heard. Probably the good ones here, they don't really feel, even the ones that are angry. A lot of times they act like that because they don't feel heard by women, because women are too busy doing things like blaming you for everything, you know. And so I just think that men maybe want to in some way feel heard and be heard because they are dominant. Yeah. They're supposed to be the dominant ones. And we're, you know, a lot of women are coming in here trying to, you know, step over him. Yeah. And it's like, no, he's the, look, it's like a rehabilitation really have to do in this world, because we have the feminist thing has been so warped our mind that we have to literally rehabilitate women.
Yeah. I watched, I was watching Elliott. He's an Elliott host. Yeah. Because so he has a show, and it's called Yo Elliott. So guys can call in and get, you know, he gives them advice. Yeah. And so everyone's, you know, most of the time I think they're younger guys that call in. And
they usually are.
But there was this one guy that, I mean, this is what I'm saying, you got to have compassion for people. And this is, I have so much compassion. I mean, I'm sure you too. I have much more compassion for men than I did years ago. And when you hear the stories without always talking, and you just observe, and here's this guy, he's talking to, Elliott, and he's saying that he's, you know, like under 30, and that he's raised with money, so he's, you know, and he said, and there's something about me, I just don't feel like a man. I don't feel like you. I feel like I'm too comfortable. My parents don't really care that I'm anything. They just want me to be happy. And it's just like when you hear the psychology of men, it's completely different than us. Yeah. Because women do just want to be happy. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? But then Elliott says something that women would never say to another woman. He was just like, you know what, you need to not be as happy. Your life isn't supposed to be happy all the time. Your problem is you're not you're too comfortable, and you need to be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And so when I was listening to him give the, you know, advice to this guy, I had compassion for the viewer. Because it makes me think that a lot of guys in their 30s really don't know
the struggle.
You know, they don't know what it means to be masculine. I mean, they're born in this technology world where they don't have to do like hard stuff anymore. They're kind of feminized, and they're also, you know, born in feminism. they don't really know anything else. They don't remember the patriarchy.
But instinctually, they feel
something.
like they're not doing enough. Because men are, normally men are supposed to be always grinding, I guess you can say, in every level, not just at work, but just spiritually, emotionally, all that stuff. They're supposed to be really on their purpose all the time. And so when they're not, like this guy you're talking about, he was noticing that he grew up with parents that didn't encourage him or discourage him. He was just there.
And Elliott was doing like
and men don't like to be just there. Men like to make a statement to the world.
They have to have a purpose for life. You know what I mean? They have to be doing something especially before they become anybody's husband.
Right.
They have to know what they're doing. Or, Steve Harvey said, there was a part in Steve Harvey's book where he said a man has to know what he's going to be doing with his life. He's got to have some sort of purpose. He's like, if not, women fall in the cracks of his life. And that changed me.
Yeah.
Because when I was in my 20s, how many times I dated guys when I was in my 20s that did hurt me. And it was just because they didn't know what
they were on the purpose.
I didn't have anything that there was no purpose for them, so there was no purpose for me to be in his life.
Right. So you just fell through the cracks.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I just fell through the cracks.
And so when you hear women like this who comment and ask us why we're not getting mad at men or why we're not projecting
understand
men, is that when you listen to men, it's particularly younger guys that are 30 and down, they are kind of lost. Yeah. And they do need men. That guy that talked to Elliott is not going to... He's not.
I'm going to say that to him.
He's not going. Right. I'm going to say that to him. I'm going to say something like that. No, it has to be these guys who are on their purpose and know that they're doing something with their life for these guys to go. Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. They
should be calling those guys and talking
addressing
to those guys
them
and watching those guys because, like you said, the roommates
and
Soul Immortal. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. Like they need to watch those guys.
And we mentioned those guys because their videos and their message is so powerful. I'm sure to men, it's very. It's almost for women because it's very touching to see grown men telling other men, look, this is what's going on. This is why you're feeling this way. This is what you need to be doing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's what's up. Like I love that. I love that men can do that. And Kara and I learned later. Like Kara said, we weren't raised with a father. A strong father figure at all. So we learned the lessons. What you hear us saying now, we learned a little later in life because we didn't have that. So we got it now, which is fine, but that's why we speak like this to women. We're very direct and we're very, we don't sugarcoat anything with women because we don't want you guys, especially the young ones, we get a lot of younger ones now. We don't want you guys to fall in the footsteps of this BS feminist stuff. They're leading you down a dark hole and we don't want that to happen with you. Yeah. We just don't want that to happen. We sincerely do not. And, that's why we kind of do what we do.
Yeah.
That's kind of like why we do
because you have to take responsibility for your own gender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
I think that they're like...
race and gender.
Yeah, even Kevin Samuels, somebody to listen to.
You may not agree with I don't agree with everything he says.
I don't agree with everything he says.
But
you know what I mean? But he's an older man who's walked through life, and with age becomes wisdom. Yeah. And so he does know things based on just being here, and living his life. You know what I mean? I do think that there are just...
He gives nuggets. Nuggets of good advice. So you don't have to agree with what everyone... I don't agree with what everyone says, and no one agrees with everything that we say. And that's called life. That's called balance. You're not supposed to agree with everyone. If we
I think what I like about, even with Kevin Samuels, I think Kevin Samuels talks mostly to women.
Yeah,
and I think he's relevant. Yeah. Because of that. But then with Elliott House and even Greg Adams and
Greg Adams.
Is pretty cool. Soul Immortal, they speak to the primal part of man.
Yeah.
And that is so important for men. Yeah. Because even we have it too. We're primal as well. Right. You know what I mean? And so a lot of women are looking for masculinity, but masculinity is defined. Like I said, a lot of the men who are toxic masculinity, the playboys, they get more airtime. And so when women look for masculinity, they think that's it. Yeah. But there is a primal masculinity that I think that men are missing these days that they didn't have in prior, decades. That is now gone.
And I think there's a part of women that are missing the femininity.
Right.
That is gone.
It's gone.
And I don't want to. I just don't want to see that happen. But yeah, I do think I know what you're saying. It's the fact that we need to get back down to that primal, instinctive part of being a male and a female. You know what I mean? Like we have to get back down to that, and seeing men now showing men that is really,
women do need men.
Yeah.
I think
whether you like to say that or not,
we do need men.
We just want to pay forward some of the things that we learned and give to you, and you can take it, whatever you want to do with it. You can take it, but we want to at least say it, because I think that a lot of people just don't say it, don't speak it, and nothing gets done when you say it in silence. So we're two grown women, and I think that Kara and I are pretty balanced women. We are flawed. We have flaws and all that. Just normal people. But I think that when you're somebody who has information that you learned throughout the course of life, and we're in our 40s, I think that it is our responsibility to the youth to share that information. And you can do what you want with it, but share that information. Why would we hold on to something that could have helped us even when we were younger? We didn't have the knowledge then. And so because we have it now, and if a younger person's watching us, at least they'll be able to be like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that. So, listen to men. Like, I mean, listen to what their mindsets are, what their, like maybe what their struggles are. Try to understand men.
Yeah, like, try to and without you trying to interject yourself into it all the time. You know what I mean? It's just that there is no need to do a video on telling men how to be better. Yeah. From two women. Women are supposed to follow men. They're the leaders, guys. Yeah. Look, this is a funny thing. There was this girl, this is how you know, remember when I told you I was watching one of Soul Immortal's videos. Okay, so you know how you go down a rabbit hole? Yeah. Because I watched a few. There was this girl that had an answer to one of his videos. Now this girl is about 20 years old, telling him that he is wrong and that women don't need to take care of men. Now this girl is living with her parents. She's 20 years old. She's a white girl from Canada, and she has 2 rats, and one of them was missing in her house. And she made that point. So you are telling this middle-aged man who's lived life, and you're only 20, and you're searching for a rat in your house on all about life. You see who has platforms? Yeah. This is why we say because we know there are other women with platforms talking like that. Right. This 20-year-old girl is trying to school a man who has a child, and has a platform that's thriving, and telling him like he's wrong. This girl is sitting in her room by herself, single, with a loose rat in her house. So you see where I'm saying where women where we kind of fall short, and she was actually passionately
talking about that.
Like, what are you talking about? And if we don't stop the bleeding now, that voice just gets older and older and older. Yeah.
We're just trying to, like Kara said, we're just trying to stop the bleeding on this. It's just that someone has to talk like this to women. Yeah. I was talked like this. Remember Monique was saying that Patti LaBelle? Yeah. Patti LaBelle called her out years ago. Patti LaBelle pulled Monique aside and said, hey, no, this is not becoming. Right. Patti LaBelle says her, and Monique took it in. Maybe she was probably a little upset at the time, but she corrected herself quick. And so that's happened to me with women that are older than me, my younger years, and corrected me real quick. My sister's mine is around my same age, and she corrects me. We got to correct each other. So we're correcting you, ladies. We're just trying to correct the behavior so you can be a more harmonious person. That's all, a more balanced person. It took me years to be a balanced person. You know what I mean? Like I did a lot of not smart choices. You guys got it. And you don't harp on that. You move on, but you learn. And and the way you learn is hearing people who I think maybe know better. When you know better, you do better. Then you share the knowledge, which is what we're trying to do here.
We live on this earth with men. Yeah. We can't pretend like they're not there.
Right.
Or like they don't have any kind of relevancy on this earth. You know what I mean? Like even in the civil rights movement, white people just thought they were just going to have 2 separate worlds. Black people over here, white people over here. We're just going to have different grocery stores and different bathrooms. That's ridiculous.
Are you crazy?
At some point, that is just going to be absurd and stupid. So it's the same thing here. We live with men, and we also want to be with them. Yeah. So we have to respect them. And we also have to call out ourselves.
That's the funny part of it is that.
And also, you can tell this girl only looks at female content. Because if you really look on YouTube, you can find that there are tons of men schooling men.
Yeah. Tons of.
So you're looking for women to tell men what to do, but you're not looking at the fact they're actually men working with other guys.
Yeah, because a lot of times women come on our channel and they make the mistake of believing that we're going to be talking about, you know, feminist and woman empowerment and all this stuff. You know, it's like, no. We're just keeping it real. That's all. You guys know. We're honest people. Kara and I are very transparent, you know, and we're just trying to keep things real and open up a discussion that can benefit both men and women. And again, particularly with black women and black men. But that's what we want to see. So.
And we need femininity.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that we don't have enough femininity in women.
Right.
We're starting to get it in men.
What does that look like?
And that's becoming dysfunctional.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the feminine energy. And we're not doing a good job of it.
At all.
We're way too masculine and we talk too much. And we don't call ourselves out.
Right.
And we somehow think we're saintly. And that's just not true. And men are not, like, masculinity is not toxic. It's actually a beautiful energy that you just don't understand. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like we exist together and we want to be together. Believe me, you want a good man in your life. So you can't be looking around for people to call out men. Women to call out men. It's just not our place.
Okay, you guys. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment below. Thank you guys once again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you have not yet. And we will see you guys next week. All right. Bye.